Exhale.
There we go. Okay.
Inhale.
Welcome to Digital Cortex. This is Steven, RandomStylez. We're here.
Live and direct.
Or at least direct.
Yeah.
We're not like live.
It's live to us.
It's live to us.
We're really
The
talking.
whole world is live to us.
Yeah, isn't it so weird to go back and watch a video that you already talked in? Doesn't it seem like an alternate like dimension or something? It's weird, right? It's like that was me, but that's not me right now.
No.
But that was me.
Yeah.
So weird. It's like, well, that's old version of me, even if it's only like a day old. You know, that's like an older version of you. You could have changed in a day. You know,
You do change in a day.
yeah. Aren't your cells? Isn't it like every 7 years, all the cells in your body die and regenerate? So you are.
Yeah, you're a different person.
So you are technically a different person, right?
Definitely a different person.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
We're just constantly
I had like something in my throat.
losing cells and replicating cells. There's this whole microscopic thing going on inside of our bodies at all times. Oh, there's another cell that just died. There's another one that died. You could just keep saying that over and over, which is kind of freaky. What do you think about all this alien stuff, dude? We don't talk about it enough. I'm just kidding. We had a whole discussion about it, remember? You're like, nobody's talking about it. You know what? I figured out why nobody cares.
Why is that?
Because it's always been like a tell us, right? But now, doesn't it feel like we're just getting sold something? Like
Well, that's what everyone's saying why they don't care. They're like, well, are aliens going to pay our rent? They're gonna keep me from going to work?
Not just that, but like...
Then nothing matters.
It's like, you know, it's like when you clean your room, like you just, like when you're a kid, when you just clean your room, you're like, man, I did it. I fucking did it.
The point
but
that
then, hold on. So you clean your room, right? And then, but then if your mom says, clean your room, then you're like, well, I don't want to fucking do it now. Now that you told me to do it, I feel less like doing it. I feel like we're being told there's aliens instead of, you know, like they're selling us on the idea of aliens. Because this is some conspiracies that people have, is that like the next lockdowns or the next time that they try to like control us fully, like they kind of did with the whole pandemic thingy.
Well, I think the lockdowns for the pandemic was necessary. You look at different countries who handled it differently than we did, and different states even. Like Arizona and Florida were the worst.
But it's like now there's like some scientists coming out and saying that maybe the numbers for the COVID deaths were inflated, and they think as much as 30 to 50% of the numbers were inflated. So we were being sold on this side because nobody cares anymore. Does anybody care about COVID right now? Nobody cares about.
Well, now that we have vaccines, it's a lot more manageable. But the big reason why everyone cared about it in the beginning, because it wasn't just about like, yeah, there's this disease. I mean, for you and me, it didn't really matter as much. You got really sick and it was fine.
Yeah.
But there was older people or people with immune issues. And then those who got really bad because of it with their immune issues or did not handle it well, the hospitals were overcrowded. And because of that too, certain supplies, like, you know, I'm sure, you know, at work, like they're not going to have X amount of this item for every single person who shows up there, right? Like some things are just way too big. So, you know, you share a printer, you share a copier or a fax machine.
Yeah.
You know, they can't afford to give you a fax machine for every person. So that was one of the big things that was the issue with the respirators. Hospitals, emergency rooms did not have enough respirators for everybody who came in for the issue who needed one.
Yeah, but the problem with that was that they stopped using them altogether. They're like, oh yeah, this is actually killing people. We got to stop doing this.
Again, too, it was like, this is something that was happening. And so medical professionals are figuring out, they don't know the way to treat it yet because it was different than anything else that needed to be treated like this.
Yeah.
So there was definitely equipment shortages. I mean, you remember how like hard it was to get soaps and hand sanitizers and things like that?
Dude, I heard some of those companies that were selling hand sanitizer, some of them went under. Because nobody's buying that shit anymore. And they have like gallons and they have like hundreds of gallons. There was like
new companies that started to try to create, you know, because they were trying to do profits and stuff like that. Yeah. But I mean, the companies that were already continually making this stuff and it was just part of their product line, like they're fine.
It's just what we were being sold on as far as like how serious it wasn't as serious as it was. You know, like you mentioned, like
I think that depends on where you live too.
Like you said, like a lot of elderly, a lot of immune compromised, you know, a lot of people that are sick, but those people are always vulnerable. You know, like those are...
Well, yeah, that's why they're in that category for vulnerability.
Yeah, they're always going to be vulnerable to the flu, you know, or, you know, a bacterial infection or, you know, like, you know, an injury or something, you know, that happens to them. But so those are always going to be our vulnerable. But we were being sold that everybody's vulnerable, you know, like everybody's going to get this. And everybody...
Because, like, it's fundamental points, right? If you are sick... and you don't even know you're sick, and you're carrying this virus, you're affecting all these other people who then take that illness differently than you.
Yeah, so
this was way more harsher than just a normal flu or a normal cold, you know, where you're like, oh yeah, now I'm sick for a day. I mean, like, you had COVID, didn't you?
Yeah, I got it.
And you were out in your ass for like a bit, weren't you?
No.
No? Well... No. I mean, you probably have, like, for example, my wife has had COVID. She has tested positive for COVID. I've never tested positive for COVID.
Yeah.
On those normal tests. Like, you do a blood test, they would probably find that I've probably had it.
So you never even tested?
I did. I did normal, like, you know,
no, I'm saying you never tested for it.
I never tested positive for it.
Yeah.
In that sense, because...
You're so strong.
No,
I'm just kidding.
I think it was just the way I probably carried it. I probably had it. There's no way that I could have been in the same house with my wife and not.
You had it. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But it probably didn't affect me the same way. What do they call that? For those people who were, they could carry it.
Asymptomatic. Yeah. Dude, I felt like we were going to like medical school for like a while, dude. All these fucking medical
terms when.
But I'm saying like all these fucking terms and everything, and like.
I mean, shit, Call of Duty players that know fucking so much about ammunition and guns and different models and what they can do and shit. None of them own any.
That was in that movie Ride Along. Did you ever see Ride Along?
Yeah.
With Kevin Hart. Remember he was naming all the guns.
Or when he was like picking up the grenade and throwing it, he was like, "What are you doing?" It's like, "Yeah, that's what you do in the big Call of Duty. You pick up the grenade and throw it."
Yeah.
You gotta throw it back. It's like, that doesn't work in real life, and it totally did.
It did it. It was such. It's like it was a good concept. It was a good, funny movie, but it just didn't hit. You know, it didn't have enough of the jokes. You know, but it was a cool concept. You know, it was supposed to be a guy that's a gamer. He knows all this stuff, but he's not a real cop. He thinks he knows more than he actually does. You know, because you play video games, you think you know things, but yeah, it was just. You
didn't enjoy the movie?
No, it was good, but I'm just saying, like, it wasn't great. It wasn't like Anchorman, you know. It wasn't like Liar, you know. Like it didn't get to that like super funny level, but it was good. It was entertaining.
Yeah, I guess it's a comedy preference for you. Like, you know, everybody's got a different.
I don't think anybody would like, that is the funniest movie. Like
super where it's gonna hit.
Like Superbad. It's nonstop funny. Like when you watched it, you were dying in the theater.
Yeah, because there's different types of humor.
That's what I'm saying. That category, it didn't make it to that level, but it was entertaining. Like,
but that's not to say that other people wouldn't see that movie and think of it differently.
I'm sure there's people out there, but it's just not on that level
for you,
for the majority of people.
Yeah, I mean, not all comedies are. There's very hard. Few that can hit a large population of people and be cool with it.
Like Step Brothers. Like there's certain.
I don't think I ever really cared for Step Brothers.
Dude, what are you talking about right now?
Will Ferrell comedy is not my type of comedy. And that's what I'm trying to say. That's my point. There's different types of comedy.
What's your funniest movie? Like you couldn't stop laughing.
I don't think there's like a movie like that where I'm just nonstop laughing and that's how I appreciate it on a comedic level. No, like just because I laugh the whole time doesn't mean that, I feel that.
I get that. But there is movies that you laughed at, like you were dying. Like, can you name a movie you were dying laughing? Like, really?
Yeah, I don't laugh like that in movies.
Nothing.
I can see the humor from perspectives.
Yeah. Like
for me, that's what it has to be. Like, I love a movie called Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
You talk about this.
It's one of my favorite movies, and in my opinion, it's got amazing humor.
Yeah.
It's got a great, enticing, detective storyline.
Yeah.
You watch it a second time, you see things you didn't see before. It's like a whole, mystery movie. And there's romance in it. It's got a little bit of everything to me. Action scenes. There's wow moments, a type of twist moments in it that just make you think oh shit. So for that movie, that's my all-time. I think it's just a great movie. It hits me great.
Love it.
Is this movie rated as the number one fucking best movie that humankind has said? Probably not. I don't even think most people know about it. But to me,
individually, it's
my favorite movie. It hits all the check boxes that meet to my emotional spectrum, and it's different for people. I've showed Community. I fucking love Community. I think Community is one of the funniest TV shows ever. That would be if we broaden the category from just movies to media.
You would laugh at that show. You would laugh out loud at that show.
I would laugh out loud at Community for sure. Yeah. Community is fucking hilarious. And it is great comedy writing. There's things in there. It's just the absurdity of it. The meta humor. The humor that's I'm aware of the humor I'm making is that it's being watched, Yeah. So Community's fucking amazing to me. Crystal does not like Community. She does not find that funny. It does not hit her comedy level for her. And I've seen this woman laugh at so many different things.
Yeah.
And it's true for just people.
Comedy is one of those things though that certain people like certain things. Right. They love this kind, but they don't like this kind. And you think that is the funniest, and they don't even put it in any category. It's a
you've
whole...
watched Breaking Bad yet?
No, I never watched Breaking Bad. But I mean, I've seen, I kind of know the story.
What about How I Met Your Mother?
I've seen clips. I liked Neil Patrick Harris's character. I thought he was funny.
It was funny, right? Yeah. It was a good show. I'm not saying it's the best sitcom
Jason
ever.
Segel. I like Jason Segel.
Crystal hates that show too. She hates the show because she thinks the people are awful.
Did you laugh at Forgetting Sarah Marshall?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, that's a good movie. Yeah. I'll put that in the top.
There's parts that I definitely laughed at. But then there's certain movies where I just don't find that type of humor appealing,
What, I'm aware or something?
In my youth, high school, college, 10, 15 years ago,
what about?
I would have, there were movies like Anchorman. It was fine to me, but I would not.
You didn't get it. You were just
no, I get it, and I understood it, but I did not appreciate it.
What about if you watched it now?
Now, I still would not.
You don't think it'll change?
It wouldn't change my perspective of it. No. But I do have a different appreciation for it based on just, growing up, adulting, maturing, understanding the world and the different people that live in it, like I understand and appreciate that there is an audience for Anchorman, and that audience is a huge pool, you know, and I can appreciate that content is there for them. And maybe it doesn't hit right with me, but that doesn't mean it's terrible. You know, I might not like it, but that does not mean it's terrible, because for somebody else, it's amazing and it's great. And that's okay. So I have a different perspective. I think like when you age, you get a different perspective. So definitely like back in the day, I would have said like Anchorman is a shit movie. It's not my type of humor. Everybody was fucking, you know, balls to the walls, like, oh my God, it's amazing for, I'm going to get hate for this too. Napoleon Dynamite. I didn't appreciate it like that back then, because to me, I felt it was stupid. I felt
but that's
this is
what's
stupid.
Funny. That's what's so funny.
There's certain people that could see stupid humor and they're just like cool with it. It's farce humor. Farce. Okay. Another like humor type is like satire, where the humor isn't slapstick. The humor is more like situation, or it's less situation. It could be dry humor. It can be like, you know, like a more like mental humor. And growing up, and I think it probably had to do a lot with my like, I'll admit, maybe when I was younger, I had a little bit of a complexity of thinking like, I know I'm so much better with this than you are, you peasant. You don't know anything about this type of media. And that could have stemmed from like acting and being in the acting world and being around it and critiquing things hard. But
you would try to do like a little comedic stuff.
Oh, I did comedic stuff. Yeah. And I learned the difference between that. And I realized that to me, I enjoyed and appreciated satire humor more, dry humor more than I did, slapstick humor. I mean, I mentioned back on one of the episodes of me talking about like my theater days, how did I talk about that when a friend was doing auditioning for a competition, and he was doing a show or a scene from a show for Bridge Shakespeare Company. Okay. Did I talk about this at all?
I don't remember. Go ahead, but just go ahead.
Yeah, I'll just recap. But so a good example of this was that this is a comedic show, and the show is the complete works of William Shakespeare Abridged. And the actors in this are 3 actors, and they portray all the roles, and their job is to get you through everything about Shakespeare within the 2-hour show limit, right?
It's a lot.
And they go through the sonnets and everything. They'll wrap them out real quick, and it's funny, and they have slapstick humor in it. Mm-hmm. But what makes it funny and well-beloved show is that they are showing you Shakespeare, and they are like going through that shit. Like they're giving you that information and teaching you about his shows and his you know, his playwright, you know, his history, and they're giving you snippets of what those shows are about. So they're giving you something that's a little bit more than we're making fun of Shakespeare, because they're not like directly making fun of it. They're pulling out what's funny about it. Yeah. You know? And I felt, so fast forward now where we're talking about this competition. We were going to a competition in school. We had to audition what we wanted to take to competition to the theater teacher in the theater club. So we would audition for her, and if she liked it, she would give us a second round of audition, because you can only enter so many kids. And then we would be able to take that to competition, right? Because you can't just take everybody because they want to go. You're going to take people who you think that's going to represent the school well. So my friend asked me to help him with the show. And so he was doing a scene out of Romeo and Juliet. It was him and another friend. And they were doing that part, and in this, the third actor, he narrates. Okay, so he's sitting there and he's doing narrations and keeping the story moving, and he's has like a big book, which is the actual complete works of Shakespeare in the 1-volume book.
Wow.
And he's reading from it, and he's like narrating the stuff, and he has some lines in there that are humorous and whatnot. And so when we auditioned that for the teacher, so she had some notes. So she was saying that the show was not competition ready, our scene. And her main thing was when she was mentioning this to my friend, I mean, she did it in front of all of us, like the 3 of us were on stage there. Her notes were, "This is not ready. You think this is ready?" And she was being very harsh because I think he needed to hear it like that. So she was saying that the way that this show was created and the people who originally portrayed these characters in this show and did this scene and wrote it, and the reason it works is because you're not making fun of Shakespeare. You're pulling the fun out and demonstrating it for the audience for Shakespeare.
Yeah.
You are not honoring the source material. And the only person on stage who seems to be honoring the source material is Steven. And she pointed me out.
And you like that?
Well, it wasn't that I liked it. It was...
You liked it.
It was just the way he was doing it was very... the reason he picked it was
trying to make it funny,
for the slapstick humor.
Yeah.
And he was trying to put funny in all of it.
And
when
she's
it
saying,
wasn't supposed to be like that.
She's saying if you do it straight, it is funny.
Yes.
Yeah.
You are going over the top. You're doing it way too much. You don't have a care about the source material. This works for them because
they think you're serious.
They perfected how to act in it. You're not just up there making fun. You're a character. And you're portraying that character. This is who you are. And the only person who's aware of their character is Steven. She pointed me out.
You know what that... Hold on real quick. You know what that reminds me of is like what they did in Tropic Thunder with Tom Cruise. Like he wasn't making fun of himself. He was being serious. Remember, he was angry. He played that character. He had somebody get punched in the face for him. Like he was so like... serious about it that is what made it funny.
Yeah, and that's what makes like a lot of stuff like that great.
Yeah.
When people can, when the actors that we love, they get into their characters and they do it fucking well. They're in there.
They're talking about doing another Tropic Thunder. You know that.
That'd be so awesome.
And Tom Cruise said he's down for it.
Yeah, and in Tropic Thunder 2, as we're on it, they made that same point. Was part of that storyline. Ben Stiller's character.
He was serious.
He was playing a special needs character was his big thing. Was in the past he did a special needs character.
Yeah.
And Robert Downey Jr.'s character tells him like, "You messed up," and to quote him, he said, "You went full retard."
Yeah.
That's what he said. And his point was that you didn't actually play and honor somebody in that sense of how you portrayed a person with special needs. You went too far. Yeah. You did surface level, and it was you making fun of them instead of you representing them, and that was the difference. So that's what she said to me on the stage. And when we were done, and we had a second opportunity to shake it to her, take her notes, show her what we did and worked with, and then we would be allowed to be considered again for competition. So I asked him, I was like, "So when do you want to like rehearse it?" He's like, "I don't know. I'll let you know." I was like, "Okay." So he never contacted me again about it.
That was it. He was just done.
So I just figured he didn't want to take it to competition anymore. He replaced me.
Oh, God.
He replaced me, bro. He replaced me with somebody else.
This is the cutthroat world of acting, dude. You guys you guys are savage, dude.
Whatever.
Dang, you just said whatever.
Like, I wasn't going to hold a grudge. It was his scene. I was taking something different to competition anyway.
But you could have been like, dude, why didn't you tell me you wanted to replace me? Like,
so I think
you could have told me first.
Agreed. There could have been
just as a respect thing. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, I'm doing this for you. Like, I'm helping you.
But see, my thing is like we were, I want to say rivals. Like we had a friendly competition.
You guys were in competition. I remember that.
And so He was definitely more upset with like the idea of like,
and he didn't
getting
like
praise for something he ran. He was in charge of it. Yeah. And I was cool just to do whatever you tell me to do, man. I was just going to do it.
That's kind of weird, though. Isn't that a weird move? Why wouldn't you try to listen to the notes? And
because you get prideful.
But his idea was, let me just take out the one good part.
Yeah, his idea was like, get rid of the guy who did it right.
Yeah, take out the one
instead of like, just being like, oh, you know what?
So you think...
Let me look back and learn from this.
How common do you think this is, dude? I feel like this is like a thing that happens.
For fucking sure, bro.
In movies, too.
It happens in the fucking industry all the time. You piss off the wrong people, you're never going to work again.
You hear little bits about, like, because sometimes actors will say they got replaced and stuff like that. Sometimes they offer it, but you know it happens way more than they actually talk about. Like, they get fired, the director or the other actors didn't like him at all, so then they fired them and replaced them. Like, we've heard little bits, like, what was it, when they replaced Kevin Spacey because all of his allegations, remember? And they got, I forgot what actor it was. It was a really good one.
Yeah. They did it for the that movie about the kidnapping from the real rich guy. Something like that, yeah.
I never saw the movie, so
I saw the movie. It was good.
Yeah.
I think definitely I would have wanted a more... I want to see the Kevin Spacey version. That movie was already filmed, ready to go.
He did it, yeah.
And it's out there.
And he is ridiculous.
We will never see it. But yeah, I wanted to see it, his version. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to get on that topic of Kevin Spacey. Recently, he did get
acquitted, right?
Acquitted,
yeah. I saw that too.
So
that's what made me
which
think
just
of Kevin
means
Spacey.
that they couldn't approve in court.
Yeah, not necessarily.
Not necessarily saying
that
this stuff didn't happen.
Dude, he has
but
weird
legally
things.
We can't prove that it happened.
He's been like sued before, and then the person mysteriously dies. Like, this has happened before, which is crazy.
I mean, I don't know, man, but it goes to, what was I going to say about the same situation that you mentioned, look at Brendan Fraser. He said that he was being sexually harassed by, I think that was the thing. Like
on The Whale?
No. Back when he was a fucking big star, bro.
Like Encino Man or something?
Like Encino Man, The Mummy, when he was big and shit.
Yeah.
Like, I guess somebody, like, had done something to him.
And he didn't like it.
He didn't like it, and he spoke up. And because of that, he got blacklisted. He says that's why he didn't do anything, because people were asking him, was like, you started returning to acting recently, and what's going on? Why you gained all this weight? He's like, oh, I was in depression. I was dealing with this and this trauma and that, and because of this issue, and I tried to speak out about it during the Me Too movement, but like, I was shunned at that point too. But I guess it had, I don't know all the details, but I'm sure if you Google it, he's talked about it in interviews. He's, it's different for him now. So, and he was an amazing actor, but just think about all of the fucking stuff we missed out on.
That would have been him.
That would have been Brendan Fraser.
He had a franchise. The Mummy what was bigger than The Mummy?
Like fucking nothing.
It was huge. Time.
Yeah.
They had The Rock in it.
That fucking gave The Rock a career, because he showed up in The Mummy first.
As a small character.
And then they decided to spin off with him, and he got his first big, like, role.
Scorpion King.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A whole feature film that he wasn't a part of, And now look at his fucking career. But that's the thing. Like, you can't piss off people. And this is the stuff that women in the industry have been...
coming forward about
and talking about, and we look back at it and it's fucking true.
But it is happening to guys too, but I think there's a lot more guys it's happened to, they won't say nothing. There's guys just treat things differently,
Right.
But he did get emotional when they gave him the standing ovation at the film festival.
Gosh, have you seen The Whale?
I haven't seen it.
Oh my Jesus, it's such a good movie.
It's a good movie, though.
Such a good movie.
I always liked him as an actor, though. I
think he's always been great. He's always been good. Yeah. He could do funny well. He did action well. The first thing I remember seeing him in more recent times, he did Doom Patrol.
That's right. You were watching Doom Patrol, and I was like, Brendan Fraser's in it.
Brendan Fraser's in it.
Yeah.
And he didn't have a lot of scenes where it was him in face. He did have flashbacks because the idea is that he was in a car accident, and to save his life, this mad scientist guy pretty much took his brain and threw him inside of a metal body.
It kind of was a really good role though for him, because it kind of like slowly
it allowed him
back.
Yes,
like, and he was,
the man was self-conscious.
Yeah.
About like his overall appearance, because that's what fucking Hollywood did to him.
It's getting better though. I mean, I saw him at the film festival and he was tearing up and crying. And
my god, dude! That movie when I saw him, was so good. You got to watch it.
By the time I saw him at the Oscars, he had lost weight. He looked like
he had already been on that process.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, he was already in better shape. He looked better. He looked happier. You know, like, yeah, he was already like on his way back. But yeah, I mean, he gained a weight for the role too. I mean,
I don't even think because I think it was prosthetics.
It was, but he still gained weight for it. He gained some weight.
That fucking movie is so sad. It's so good. So good.
It looked gnarly, man. I was like,
dude, that movie's fucking trippy.
Like, I get it.
When you watch it and you like, I can't even explain it. It's good. Just go fucking watch the whale.
You know what?
Go watch the fucking whale already.
I gotta watch it. There's so many movies I gotta watch. There's so many on my list. No, but I was thinking about when you were talking about, this is back to Tropic Thunder, when you were talking about how like Robert Downey was grilling Ben Stiller about that character. Mm-hmm. He was also doing that while
oh my god! And that's the thing. That's one of the things that this movie got shit for, was that it got in trouble by, people. What was the organization? I think it was like the People for Disabled Individuals. I don't know.
There was organizations basically that were mad or upset.
Yes, but there was a whole community that was upset because of that.
When it came out, I will say there was some rumbling, but it wasn't like huge.
But the thing is that because they overlooked it, they didn't realize that they had gone too far in certain areas or didn't represent properly in certain areas, and that's because they were tiptoeing around the whole Robert Downey Jr. They wanted to make sure they weren't going to offend too much of the black community.
Yeah.
Which understandably, but yeah, Robert Downey Jr. played an albino, pretty much Australian. He played an Australian actor.
Well, he was blonde.
He was a blonde?
Yeah, not albino.
He was pretty much. He was like just white and shit.
Yeah, it was pretty. He was playing like an Irishman in that one movie with Tobey Maguire.
Yeah. So he was playing this.
What was his name? I forgot his name. Do you remember his name? It was something cool. It was like August something, or like
it was one of those fucking weird.
But it sounded good though.
It did, and that was the whole point. They wanted.
So I think that's what they would do if when they do another one. It's just going to be the Australian Robert Downey, and then probably whatever thing they get into him, and because he said he wants to work with Tom Cruise, so they want to have scenes together. Because they didn't really have...
No.
And actually, they had 0 scenes. Yeah. They were in the same movie, but just 0 scenes together.
Yeah, and that was one of the things, too. They wanted to do it like that because they kind of tried to hide Tom Cruise's larger performance in this movie. And that's why, like, he's unrecognizable in the film. Like, they didn't want to advertise that this is Tom Cruise.
But everybody knew, and then when they did... I mean,
they did. Yeah. They did. But it wasn't like, we want this all to be about, like, look what we're doing.
I remember them talking about making a movie with just Tom Cruise's character.
Yeah, because it was perceived so well. And they let Tom Cruise be somebody else, which he hardly ever gets to do.
Oh, he was funny.
He did such a good job. Like, those are one of the few Tom Cruise roles that I enjoy, where it's not just, seeing Tom Cruise. We talked about it before, like where we said like there's been certain, like we see
whenever you see him, it's Tom Cruise.
Yeah. Tom Cruise, Top Gun, Mission Impossible, Edge of Tomorrow.
He even did a Mummy.
Yeah. All of these are still just Tom Cruise. I go to see those movies, all I see is Tom Cruise being action Tom Cruise. But we don't get a lot of content for some of these actors that can show different ranges anymore. Like talking like earlier Tom Cruise, like, you know, from the 80s and shit, like early day, fun, different.
Risky business.
Yeah, that's what I was grabbing for.
You were trying to. What else? Also, he had a football movie where he played like a teenager. I had one in my head. I mean, he did the Interview with the Vampire, which was great.
So like that was fun. That was different. That wasn't like the same type of Tom Cruise that we just get now. So I'm not thrilled about Tom Cruise movies if they say it, but if there's something with an interesting character and the people get to see their range, like that's great. Like I know I've said it before, but that TV show, The Crowded Room with Tom Holland, the character he has to play in there.
Dude, I saw a scene. What's going on?
Fucking crazy.
What's going on? I
don't want to say anything because I feel like it's such a big spoiler if I saw anything.
Because I get shown things that like the people I follow.
Are we gonna do this?
No, you don't have to say it.
Like I don't mind.
No, because I don't want if I do.
But I don't want like the people to be.
Yeah, don't.
Like I want people to experience this movie or this show.
I won't say nothing, but I know what you're talking about, and I saw it, and I was like, "What the?"
People who know something about what it's based off of are going to know a little bit more of what's going on. But for example, I knew exactly what was happening in this show on episode 1, and they don't want to reveal that to you. They show it to you. They show you the big theme of this show throughout in every single episode. Like every minute you see it. And if you go back and rewatch it and you didn't see it originally, you would be like, oh my fucking God. Because me and Crystal would be like, no, you see what they just said there? You see how that scene went? You see that? That's what tells me this is what's happening. And she would be like, really? And we would talk about him, and then we would be like, oh my gosh, I think you're right. Same situation with her best friend's was watching the show, and she did not realize what we had already realized on episode 1 until the show revealed it, which was down the line at like towards the last 3 or 4 episodes before it ended. Yeah. She didn't realize that that's what was happening. But to me, seeing Tom Holland act and pull range for his specific character that he was portraying in this show, knowing what the theme was or the story that they were trying to tell and the twist that they're building up to and stuff like that, was so fascinating to me. There were certain scenes in the last couple of episodes that I said to Crystal, I was like, I just can't. Like, if I ever met Tom Holland in person,
it's fun. I'm laughing.
This is what I would tell him. I'd be like, I was a big fan of The Crowded Room. I love that you did this, this, and this.
That's what you're gonna bring
while
up.
Being this, and while doing this, and this, and
you
like,
gotta bring up Spider-Man first.
I wouldn't even, because like Spider-Man, yeah, he did a fantastic job as Spider-Man, and I will say it. Like people ask, oh, who's your favorite Spider-Man actor? Tom Holland overall is a great Spider-Man and a great Peter Parker. He is the package. I would love to see this guy play Spider-Man forever. That's just me being a fan of Spider-Man. I think he does it well. But
they're going to do the other ones too.
Oh, I know. Yeah. They got to. And these actors are willing to do it now.
They've all said they'll do it. Toby said, Andrew.
Tobey Maguire has always been a good Peter Parker, but I've never really cared for him as Spider-Man. He's
the best Peter Parker.
He was my first Spider-Man in film. I saw him as a kid. You would think like nostalgia. I would be like, that's my Spider-Man, you know?
He's got some iconic lines in that movie.
Does. And
you know, that scene with the bus, like
no doubt there was some very iconic stuff, and that kind of thing that they've done like for movies, it's huge for,
I said bus, but it was a train.
But it's huge for comic books, you know, and overall. And I'm not saying like I hate the movie or anything, but we're ranking the Spider-Man and the 3 actors that have portrayed them so far, like in live action. He's not been the one I care to. Like, it's not Spider-Man that I think of. Like, I don't like his Spider-Man. Like, it wasn't Spider-Man to me. That's not who I saw Spider-Man as in my brain. Andrew Garfield, on the other hand,
I thought you liked him.
He had a shitty Peter Parker. Like, his Peter Parker wasn't as good as Tobey Maguire. Two separate people, right? Spider-Man and Peter Parker.
Yeah.
I didn't care for his Peter Parker. It was too like so depressed
cool and cool.
too like hipster cool.
He was pretty cool.
It didn't feel like Peter Parker to me. Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker was more of the Peter Parker I knew from comics and television. But Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, that was a Spider-Man that clicked. That was a Spider-Man that said,
he had some good moves.
He's Spider-Man that I would envision in my head. It was just the way he delivered his lines, his voice, the way he like gesticulated, all that stuff was great.
I think for me, it was like he was not that young, like Peter Parker needs to have a young feel to him, and Andrew seems more like he's in college already, like
and definitely, and then I think Tobey Maguire as well was not that young. The only person who's nailed the age for where they
fit
put
the school though. He still fit it. And
in the original one too, I don't even think he was. I think he was like just starting college, or he was already in college.
He was getting out of high school. The first
no, not like the movies, but the comics.
In the comics, yeah.
But they've rewritten it to him because the people who were like reading the comics for certain things, they fell in that age group up to like college level and stuff.
Tom Holland is definitely the youngest, like out of all of them looking. When he looks young. You believed he was in high school.
He's a short guy, so it's easy to deal with it like that.
Yeah.
But he definitely played Spider-Man well. He played Peter Parker well.
That's probably what it is. It's just he
balanced
had the
both
two.
of those.
Yeah, he had the two
to make it superior enough. Like if I was to tell anybody to see Spider-Man movies, like it's going to be the Tom Holland ones. Watch those. That's a good representation of what Spider-Man is overall in the comics and stuff to me. Like that's a good representation of where it's at right now. If you want to see like my favorite Spider-Man in film was definitely Andrew Garfield. I loved his movies. I want him to do more projects because I fell in love with that.
He hasn't really done much, huh?
And they did some different things in his that they didn't do before, which was just like magical. Like the trailer, when I saw that trailer for the first time, was in theaters. The internet was there, but it wasn't as like, I wasn't on it 24/7.
Yeah.
I was on it when I got on a computer. Your cell phone had very limited internet. You were just sharing things with people, and so his trailer for me didn't come out in that time where I was like needed to be aware of it, or I'm following that type of media online or whatnot. So I didn't see the trailer or even know about, like, I knew that they were rebooting the movie. I didn't look into the actor or anything. I was just, just let it come natural.
But I
saw the trailer in the theaters, and that's what fucking blew my mind.
And you already knew him from Social Network, right? You saw Social Network.
I think Social Network came out afterwards, didn't it?
No.
It came out before?
Yeah, that's what got him the Spider-Man movie.
I didn't.
No?
I knew about Social Network, but I didn't follow him as an actor on it or anything.
I thought he was great on that movie, though.
He's definitely great.
Yeah, like his scenes.
He's a fucking great actor. From like Hacksaw Ridge to the smaller things I've seen him do.
So is Jesse, right? Jesse Eisenberg.
Oh, Eisenberg?
Eisenberg, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He was great, too.
He was.
Yeah.
He was fun in fucking Zombieland. Guy's hilarious.
Yeah, Zombielands were great. What about the was it MK? Not MK. American Ultra. I wanted to say MK Ultra, but American Ultra.
American Ultra?
Remember? He was activated, and then he started fighting. Did you ever watch that movie?
Was that him?
Yeah. That was Jesse.
I remember, but I guess I don't remember. Oh, yeah, you know what? No, I do.
Yeah.
With the girl, what's her name?
From Twilight.
Yes.
Yeah.
What was I saying? I lost thought.
We were talking about Andrew. You first saw the trailer.
The first time I saw that trailer, like that first the Amazing Spider-Man trailer, was first person perspective of Spider-Man swinging through buildings, and we didn't know what the fuck we were looking at.
Like this. I remember now.
Like running and doing parkour. And we didn't really like we knew, but we weren't like knowing until he landed on a building and saw his reflection in the building's window. That
was a good scene.
And I was like, I gotta see this Spider-Man movie. I gotta see this. And they did not let me down with the way that Spider-Man flung through, like you said earlier, his movements and everything too. Like, it was just, that was fucking great. That was so perfect for me to see live action Spider-Man. That's what I saw.
What did you think about the Zack Snyder cut when they redid
for the Justice League?
Yeah.
I liked it better in certain scenes. Like, there was so much more things that we got from it. Like Cyborg played a much bigger part.
Oh, we actually know who he is.
Yeah.
We didn't know who the hell he was in the first movie.
Like, I knew, but they didn't show us that.
They took out some of the stupid comedy that they had in there that made no sense.
There was some good things that was...
They fixed the bad guy's suit. They changed it because it was kind of goofy looking, and they made it more like alive. It just kept moving the whole time. Remember?
Yeah.
They fixed so many things. The tone of the movie was different. Everything. Batman. They even changed the Batman scene because remember when he first encounters Superman after he wakes up, he picks him up and like drops him.
Yeah.
And he just drops him right. It's not that far of a drop, but it's enough that it's gonna hurt or whatever. And he's like, I'm gonna feel that tomorrow or something. He says that. They took that out. They even changed what happened. He didn't pick him up and drop him in the second one. He I forgot he hit him or something or shoved him and he flew. So they changed the whole scene.
Yeah, there was a lot. Like, it's funny how like you're working with the exact same material that you had, but the way you cut it together changes the story.
And then they had scenes they didn't use that they end up using. Mm-hmm.
That added like different context to things. Like, it made things a lot different.
Yeah, it's so much of it is editing. It's so crazy because when you see the two, and then we haven't really got, I mean, no one's ever done that. That was the first. This is like a remix. You remember how they used to do remixes all the time of like songs? Mm-hmm. Like Diddy would come out with a song and then he would remix it and it would sound totally different, but it was like, I need a girl tonight. Like he did I Need a Girl. He did like 3 I Need a Girls. Like, and he just kept remixing them, and it was like reimagined every time. Sometimes it wouldn't even have the same beat. Yeah, they used
to do that a lot, and I never cared for that because then I'd be like, wait.
But sometimes the reimagined was better than the original, you know?
Sometimes, but sometimes I would like the original, and people would think the reimagined is so much better, and then all I would hear is the reimagined. Because
that becomes
the dominant popular one. Yeah. And I didn't care for it. Like,
I liked
there's a Struts song. You know who the Struts are?
I think so.
So they're a rock band. They're in that kind of alternative pop punk rock. The guy reminds me of Queen. Like,
okay.
His voice reminds me of like Freddie Mercury, his persona.
That's pretty deep, man.
I know. The band is fucking great. They're so awesome. Fun. They're such a good band. But they have a song called Body Talks.
Yeah.
And it's a great song.
They remixed it.
They have a version of it with Kesha. And I don't really care for that one.
That happens sometimes.
Yeah. I like the one without her. So, you know, that's an example of it. The reason I brought it up is because you see it in music a lot. You never see it in movies, and it was kind of interesting to see it, right? In movies, like they pretty much did a reimagining of that movie. It's savage because I feel like when you have a director and someone who's on the project from the beginning, he hires the writers, he pushes them in the direction they want to go for everything, and then he starts filming it. Because, like, you know, it's not like this guy just shows up on set day of, is handed a script and be like, okay, well, let's see where we go from this. They get these people involved like in the beginning, and they want them to run this shit. That's the whole point. So you have your director for it, and Zack Snyder had a vision. He had an idea of where things went.
Yeah,
and when he needed to get replaced, the new person, all rights to him. It's his project now. And he's like, just same way you would get a new boss or a new CEO of a company who's like, you know what? We're going to rebrand. This isn't my image. This isn't the way I want to see this place run.
I would do this.
I don't like it like this. We're going to reshoot this. We're going to rewrite that. I don't like that. We're going to cut this, and this. So, yeah, it kind of sucked that there was a bunch of stuff that was used for one man's vision in a different way than it was intended to be. And so what we're seeing in the Snyder Cut is like version. You said, it's his version of that movie that needs to be done. So really what it should have been is the Snyder Cut being the original and who was it? Joss Whedon?
Yeah, I think he's
Joss Whedon was our remix. That's what it ultimately,
we just got the original.
We
later.
got it reversed.
Yeah,
we got it in the wrong release order.
Yeah, he's got a really unique situation, and that's why they let him do that.
Oh yeah, and it was like fan pressure and shit. And I was hoping that fan pressure and shit would bring Batgirl back, but it did not.
You really want Batgirl?
I really fucking want Batgirl, man. You don't know how much that upsets me. It's a whole fucking movie out there.
You're the only one fighting for this movie.
We can't see it. We can't see this fucking movie.
Everyone's forgot about it.
I want to see it. I just want to see it.
You're still campaigning.
Put it in my eyeballs already. Yes.
We're gonna see more of this reimagining though, or whatever you want to call it, remix, because they just had an article come out that said David Ayers and James Gunn met, and they talked about doing an Ayers cut of the first Suicide Squad, and James Gunn said, "Yeah, we're gonna do it." So he's given him the go ahead that he can. I don't think it's gonna be anytime soon, but he's committed to bringing that out. So we're gonna get a David Ayers cut of the first, because there was a lot of Joker scenes that Jared Leto said they cut.
I remember them saying that because I felt like they made it. Everything that I read about the original Suicide Squad made it seem like the Joker was going to be a bigger part in it than he was.
Yeah.
And his part in it was so small that it did not reflect well on who his Joker was.
It was just kind of a blip. And then so it seems like they had too many characters. They didn't know which way to go. Like they were just kind of floating around. And sometimes you saw Will Smith really was the main character for the most part. Everything kind of went through him. But you had Viola Davis. You had, the dude from whatever fucking, what was that the biker gang? The Hells Angels? What the fuck is...
Oh,
right? Wasn't he in that show?
Yeah. What was that called?
I don't know, man.
I can't remember what that show was called.
But it was a biker show, right?
Yeah.
I never watched it.
They were in a biker gang, and they all hanged out at the biker bar, and it was in the middle of a desert or some shit.
Dig deep. What was it? I was close. Something.
Fuck.
Right?
Wait.
I know.
Something with an A in there. Something with...
Really?
Yeah.
The only thing I keep thinking of is American Chopper. But
no, not American. What's that word? Anarchy?
Oh, Sons of Anarchy.
Sons of Anarchy. Sons of Anarchy.
You got it totally right.
I was totally in there.
Your anchor
and
sons.
I was looking for the word. I was searching for it, man.
You got the A.
I told you.
You knew there was an A.
I'll put you on the right path.
You knew there was an A, and I figured it out. Yeah, he was right? He was in that show?
Which guy?
the Colonel Flagg, the dude that played in both Suicide Squads.
I never watched Sons of Anarchy.
I didn't either. I thought you did.
But he was in Sons of Anarchy.
Okay.
The only person I know from Sons of Anarchy is that one. What's the other dude? The famous dude. Didn't he play a Hellboy?
Oh, you're talking about Ron Perlman?
Yeah, Ron Perlman.
I don't know why all these names are just coming in my head, dude.
You're doing good with names, bro. You can catalog your brain right now.
Well, he was in Pacific Rim. You remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so there you go.
Okay.
He was in Pacific Rim. I could have said that instead.
Yeah.
You would have got it right away. But yeah, so I mean, anyways, they could really redo this movie, I think, and bring out a dark Joker, like Jared Leto's Joker, the one that he wanted to portray, his vision of Joker. I think he had something there, and they kind of showed it too at the end of Justice League too, with Zack Snyder cut. You see that Joker and him and Ben talking, because it was like a
yes. And isn't the Justice League movie the one that they had Batman looking at his they had the Robin costume that had like haha written all over it?
Was that in Suicide Squad?
No, I'm pretty sure that was in a Justice League movie. It could have been a Batman v Superman one, but Batman was in his little white room cave or something, and he had
maybe Batman versus Superman, because it wasn't the Snyder cut.
Wasn't?
No,
but
at least
because
I don't think
the Jared Leto Joker appeared before because he ended up being in one of the Batman movies before that in like a small scene, right?
Jared Leto?
Yeah, the Jared Leto Joker, didn't he?
No, just the Suicide Squad. That's why, and everybody was like, "Whoa, what is he gonna do?"
Maybe I don't recall.
He was the next one to do it after Heath, and so obviously he had a lot of pressure on him to perform.
Yes, and his Joker was a different Joker, and I don't think a lot of people like realize that.
And he had he had like a weird
face tattoos and bullshit stuff. Like, that's a Joker in a comic book. Like, that is a version of him.
That is more of the green haired, like, like purple, all the colors. Yeah, but I think people didn't like he had a grill, like a gold grill.
But the thing is like, because mainstream people who are just like, watching it, who aren't like delved deep into the lore and stuff, they're not like seeing that this is a comic book portrayal.
Yeah.
Like, there's a Joker who wears teeth like this, who's tatted up and is running his shit like a fucking crazed gang boss.
Yeah, so everyone was like, oh, Leto's just trying to be cool. He's got chains. He's got girls, like. But yeah, Joker, there's different versions of Joker, for sure. That's what the cartoons were good at doing. It's different. Speaking of cartoons, did you hear about that new animated movie that they're going to be coming out with DC?
Which one?
They're going to do a Watchmen animated.
No, they're doing a Watchmen one?
Yeah. 2024.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. So they got a couple of animated movies DC's coming out with.
There is like, have you watched too many of the DC animated universe movies?
I've seen some of them. I've seen a lot of Batmans, and I've seen the Joker one. Was it Last Laugh or something? What was that one?
Okay, so those are like one-offs.
Yeah.
But there was a point in time where DC, and this was in like the 2010s, they would come out with an animated universe movie, right? And they would use the same animation style in all of these pretty much, and the same actors. And they all kind of intertwined. So they had an entire, like, think about how big Marvel's universe of characters is on the live action cinema. They had this for the animated DC universe. These movies are fucking great. They're not for children.
Oh, yeah. I've seen them. I mean, I've seen some of them.
They're great. And they're fun. And they follow that same, like, path of,
it's got a lot of...
If something happens here, it's affecting us all because we live in the same universe. And they go together. And they have spin-offs and little one-off stories. And they were so good. You can go back and watch these. Like, if you... Like, there's, like, 10 or 15 of them in succession that you could watch. They all have got like great storylines. They follow like the Justice League and then smaller roles within that and stuff. And I think they all form out of the Flashpoint movie. And if you watch all of these long enough, there is one more Suicide Squad movie that pulls back to this Flashpoint movie that started it all.
That's interesting.
And I think that was one of the last ones that was done in this universe. And then they scrapped it and they started making the animated movies that you're talking about now, like the Joker one with where he shoots Batgirl. What did they call that?
Batgirl. She's back again.
Death in the Family? It's like, no, that's not the story arc, is it? It's not the Death in the Family one. It is the... What is it? I can't remember what it is, but you know, is it the one you saw where he like kidnaps Gordon and...
I don't remember.
No, he kidnaps Barbara first. Kidnaps Batgirl because it's Commissioner Gordon's daughter. He shoots her in the stomach in the comic book. And he then takes her to an abandoned amusement park. And he gets Commissioner Gordon at this abandoned amusement park. And he like ties him up on a roller coaster or something. And he makes him go through this roller coaster with a bunch of like pictures and slideshows and like projectors of his daughter being shot. And then his daughter being like stripped naked and humiliated. And she's like lying on the floor holding her abdomen in her wound. And she becomes paralyzed from this in the comics. And this whole entire ordeal is supposed to corrupt Jim Gordon enough to like break him. That's what the Joker wants to do in all this. It's so fucked up. And they made it into an animated movie, but it's not as fucked up as the comic. And then they added some weird sex shit with Batman. Just
cause.
It was weird. It was different. That's not the one you said you saw?
I don't remember now. You used to say so many things. And I'm like, I don't know. I got to watch this movie again, probably. There's so many, though. If you go on Max, I mean, there's a whole list of animated.
If you want like a list of which ones to watch in order, I can get that to you. Because like, if you do it that way, it's like great. Start with the Flashpoint. I think it's just called Flashpoint.
Yeah.
And that's such a good one. Have you seen the Flash movie yet?
No.
I watched it.
Yeah, I gotta watch it. I want to watch it. I mean, I'm gonna watch it.
There was some fun moments in it. And I think like if all of this other shit didn't happen with Ezra Miller, it's possible this movie could have been a lot more of a bigger hit than it was.
So you think he had to do with most of the reason it didn't do as good as it should have? Because they really pushed that Michael Keaton was going to be in it, you know? They were almost like...
Michael Keaton did good reprising his role.
Yeah.
But then they have some like Easter eggs in there of characters from DC's past.
What do you think about that Blue Beetle?
I want to see it.
Everyone's talking about it.
I do, because I like Blue Beetle, but I've mentioned it before.
You don't think it's going to be that good?
There's versions of it. The comic that I followed with Blue Beetle, the Scarab is supposed to be an alien artifact. It's a broken, damaged alien artifact. One of the things that has always been great about it is that whenever Blue Beetle was portrayed in something that was outside of the pages of a comic book, his inner voice, he has an inner monologue that is the Scarab that talks to him in his head and only he can hear it.
Yeah.
How does the Scarab know how to talk to him in his head? Like directly to his mind?
It's what is this Scarab? Is it alien? The Scarab is an
alien technology that is embedded through his spinal cord.
And normally it takes over the host.
Taking over his nervous system.
Right.
And that's what it does to the host. And it takes him over completely.
Yeah.
injects its consciousness and erases the consciousness of the host.
And these come
or
from...
buries the consciousness of the host. But in Jaime Reyes's Blue Beetle, that didn't happen to him because his scarab is broken. What these things are supposed to do is they land on the planet, they infect one of the planet's residents of its higher species, and then they use that with its combined like armor and weaponry and everything to push its way into some weird political pattern or to forcefully take over the planet so that the aliens that made this thing, the Reach, can come and like figure out what they want to do with the planet, whether it means selling the planet for its resources or enslaving the people or conquering and expanding its empire, whatever, right?
So he's kind of like Silver Surfer. He's kind of like a scout. They send him first.
They just send this probe.
Yeah.
But this probe also can do what it does.
Does it always go for... How did it pick a human? It could have picked a lion or something. Or
no, it's intelligent probe. It's got an AI in it.
It knew to pick the highest species?
The dominant species.
Okay, so they knew humans were... So whatever the dominant species is, that's the one it'll choose and then...
Yeah, like it's scanning things and it showed up in ancient times. Like ancient Egypt times.
Had a scarab.
Yeah, but
controlling things.
No, because it was broken. So it didn't go out scouting. It didn't send anything back to the Reach.
So the Reach never knew about Earth.
Exactly. They never came to Earth until Jaime Reyes interacts with the scarab. And it attaches itself to him. But it is still broken. So he is constantly in his own mind.
Yeah.
This is an inner monologue in his head because it's being injected again from his nervous system, spinal cord, right?
Yeah.
Of this alien communicating with him. And the alien learns English from him. It learns the language. It learns everything about humanity that it can from him.
From his brain. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then when it, the point is that when it learns English from him, it talks with a voice that is him. It's Jaime's voice in his own head, but it's a little bit more robotic and serious because it's got its own different personality trait. It's programmed to be a certain way. And so it's constantly...
Conquer and destroy. Right?
Yeah. It's supposed to take over completely, but it can't. It does not take Jaime's consciousness and push it down. It stays as its own consciousness in Jaime. So he's constantly fighting. Yeah. So but the thing is what puts its armor over him. It's what can open up his weapons and stuff. Jaime's like talking to this thing. And that's what's so fucking hilarious about this comic.
So he has to convince it sometimes to do certain things?
Yes. So like
he's like,
it'll be put in a situation where it'll analyze a threat and it'll say, threat detected, advice, lethal force. And it's like, no, it's a police officer. Don't lethal force a police officer.
It's almost like Tom Holland in the Tony Stark glasses.
Yes.
Where he's talking to it and they're like, threat.
In this movie, I assure you that they're doing the exact same thing. The problem is that I can tell in the trailers it looked like this was a human creation. And it has an AI voice that is not Jaime Reyes.
So they changed that part?
Which means that it's probably not connected to the Reach, which means they have now eliminated this entire version of the character that they could go with. Because Blue Beetle is huge in the DC universe.
So you're going to be upset if they don't do...
I already know they're not going to do it, so I'm already upset.
From the trailers? You're not supposed to watch the trailers, dude.
I did, though, because it's a Blue fucking Beetle, and I love Blue Beetle. So, but what's really...
What if they snuck it in? What if they snuck it in?
They can't. Like, I'm pretty sure if they do, it's like a teaser to it, and they're not going to do it.
Or what if it's like a homing device instead or something?
No, because I already saw in the trailer they showed a villain that I'm pretty sure is Black Beetle. In the comics, remember I said that they didn't just have this one device. They sent dozens of them.
Yeah.
They send them to any planet they think.
Yeah.
Like Scout. So there's like a version of this beetle that is on like Mars or something, you know, because there's Martians in the DC universe. So there's a Blue Beetle that's a Martian. There's a Blue Beetle. It's not Blue Beetle. It's like a green beetle. The Reach have their own beetle. It's a black one. Okay. It's their head of command. Like they don't need it to control this because the Reach are already set with their job. There are people that know that they're conquering. They don't need to be mind controlled to conquer.
What do they do when they take over a planet?
Like I said, they'll sell it for resources or slave it,
just
or conquer
mine
it, whatever they can do with it. Now, the Green Lanterns, decades and centuries ago, they interfered with the Reach. And they intervened, and they pretty much like said to the Reach, like, you cannot do this, and we're going to come up with a treaty, because Green Lanterns are like a police force, right? They're like the fucking UN. Okay. So they're like, okay, listen, you can't conquer planets, especially in Green Lantern space sector. So we will allow you to continue control over the ones you have now, but you cannot conquer new ones. If anybody wants to join your empire, that's their own doing. So what the Reach end up doing is that they use their beetles to infiltrate the planet, but they don't do it in a hostile way anymore. They do it in a manipulative way.
They make them want to sign up with them or whatever.
Yes. I
get it. So wait.
So that they can then control them. So
with their
illegally.
So they're building this up. This is the start.
So this is what happens in the DC comics, is that there's Blue Beetle, who the Reach have now come to Earth, and they're like, oh yeah, we created that beetle suit, you know, and we're going to fix it for you. And they end up fully activating it. And now Jaime does not have any control of who he is. So he becomes like a sleeper agent, because none of the other like superheroes, the Justice League, isn't fucking aware that this is happening to him. And because of that, when certain members of the Justice League do not trust the Reach, like fucking Batman, right? Doesn't fucking trust the aliens that are coming to Earth, promising them to resolve them of all their issues for no price whatsoever. Yeah, right. Well,
so you're going deep, man. You're going deep into the story.
Well, this is what happens. And so like it's a pivotal moment in DC Universe, and they could have definitely used Blue Beetle to fucking push off this huge DC event of the Reach.
Well, they probably will still do that.
Who knows? I don't. But I highly doubt that that's going to happen now. Because they've already not used that one cornerstone that they would have needed, which is to introduce the Scarab as an alien artifact.
Let's see what they do.
This thing came from space and we know nothing about it.
If it's that big, the Reach, they got to use it, and they're going to use it. Maybe they're just flipping it and turning it and doing something else with it, which is good because it keeps you guessing. Because this is
9 out of 10. Like, I bet money on it, bro. I'm like 90% positive, based on the one trailer I've watched, that they're going to say, and we can go watch this movie and figure out, like, we'll talk about it, but they're going to say that this is some type of underground military project, that the scientists thought that it was in the wrong hands in the military, so they stole it. And as they were stealing it and getting chased by, you know, the security at the laboratory that was being corrupted by the military government anyway, it accidentally ended up in Jaime's hands. And now Jaime accidentally activated a military thing that's on his back, and now they're sending other military people after him. It's the same fucking Ant-Man story we just saw, like in the first Ant-Man movie. Same thing.
They could still
they're going to create their own beetle prototype, just like they did in the first Iron Man movie.
They could,
and they're going to fight
save it. I could see them saving it, man. These guys are smart, man.
I'm calling it. I'm pretty sure that's what it's about.
They could say
the movie's out now.
They could say that they got it from alien technology or something, you know, like, and then the alien technology turns out to be one of the beetle, you know, like they could still. I could see them tying.
The only thing, like, maybe that's it. Like, well, this is what we used to, we were reverse engineering it.
See, something like
and now it's alien technology.
Okay, there we go.
But
I could see it.
Then why not give Jaime Reyes' voice? Because they've already showed the AI voice in there, and they're making it seem like it's
maybe that's just
a female AI voice. It's like
maybe that's just an audience thing. Maybe it helps the audience understand what's going on. They might be confused and think
one line. Why do you sound like me? I'm in your head. I can only use the voice that I can hear it first.
Because even when they did Moon Knight had different accents. So that's how you kind of differentiated between.
Yeah, but that was true in the comics too.
No. I'm just saying, like, as far as like an audience, I mean, and AI is so big right now. Maybe they wanted
the AI voice that uses Jaime's voice. It doesn't talk in a Hispanic accent like Jaime does. Jaime has like a Hispanic, like he's from El Paso, Texas, and he talks like he's from El Paso, Texas. Okay. So
it'll be interesting to see what they do.
The AI alien artifact, the Scarab, never talked like that. It was his voice. Yeah. It was the same voice actor in any media that they've used him for, but the voice does not talk the same when we hear it.
Yeah. I get it.
And it's funny because we will hear the conversation that Jaime is having with the AI, but nobody else around him does. They only hear him talking to himself.
It's kind of like how they did with Venom. He's talking to himself,
Yeah, but I don't know. That's a whole other fucking thing.
They're doing a lot of this inner monologue bullshit. I mean, I know that they are staying true to the comics by doing it, but it is becoming a theme these days. But yeah, no. What makes me think about what they're doing is if they're doing the Beetle, then they're gonna need a police, and they're gonna need to bring the lanterns back in to the universe. That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like, because they have to be there. At some point they have to come in. I'm not
trying to hate on the DC universe or anything.
I think that's a good angle.
The DC comics more than I like reading the Marvel comics, if I'm being honest.
I've always liked the DC comics too, but
I just feel like
I think that's
DC on the movies, like the live action people, like it's just always let me down, man.
Well, I think that's a good angle to come back with the lanterns. Establish the villain, so then the lanterns can be that good. If you have a good villain, you'll have a good hero. That's what makes a good hero is a good villain. If the villain's easily defeated, nobody cares. That's why there was a build up with Avengers with Thanos. Once Thanos came into the and he started fucking people up, we're like, oh shit,
Yeah, I guess so. But DC has not been able to do that yet. Is all I'm saying. And I know they've got new leadership in there, so I'm hoping that they do something awesome.
James Gunn knows this.
Agreed. Yeah. But it's still Warner Discovery who's going to make the final fucking says and shit. Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to hold my breath on any of it because I don't want to be let down again.
Yeah, you're very guarded about this, but I trust James Gunn.
Dude, I've went into that before. Look,
I've seen good things out of him. I can't say everything about all the directors and all the encounters, but
okay. But think about this, okay? Do you remember Signs?
M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong.
M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong. Yes. Yeah. M. Night Shyamalan. Shyamalan. He did Signs.
Unbreakable.
The Sixth Sense.
Yeah, Sixth Sense.
Like, he was doing some fantastic shit, like interesting shit, like good stuff.
This is not a good example.
Hold on. So when they announced that he wanted to make live action Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh yeah.
I was like, okay.
Were you an Avatar fan?
I love the show.
I never watched it.
Dude, it's so good.
Yeah, you were so
fucking good.
You were very much more invested then.
So good.
Yeah.
Anybody who liked the show It's great.
Yeah, I wasn't into
it has amazing action.
But the
storyline is great. But yeah, the fucking movie was shit.
Yeah.
It was just shit.
And I didn't even know Avatar, and I still didn't like it.
And you know the fucking sad part? Okay? The sad part is that...
that we keep getting tricked by him?
No. Well, yes, we keep getting tricked by him.
Yeah, that's why I said it's not a good example.
Do you know the reason he took on that project? He wanted to do that project?
No, I don't know.
Is because he watched that show with his kids and he loved it. The same reason I loved it. The same reason millions of other people loved the show. And he was like, I want to make that live action. And he fucked it up. He was a fan who fucked it up. Okay.
He's been doing weird things.
So I was hurt in an early age about fans who fuck shit up. And so I'm not going to hold it against anybody anymore. Okay. Because it's not easy to go and fucking create shit, direct shit.
Who's the director for stuff? Blue Beetle?
I can't remember the name. It's pretty bad.
I never saw the name. So
when it comes to the DC stuff anyway, I don't, like I said, I'm not holding my breath anymore.
I follow directors though. Because there's certain directors that I haven't been let down by.
To that point, I wasn't let down by M. Night Shyamalan.
Shyamalan.
And most people weren't.
But he's been doing this though. This is definitely a pattern for him.
Because what we found out is that he's shitty at writing a lot of his own stuff, and then he has his own pattern. Because a lot of the stuff that we saw was great for him.
Well, he has his own term. The M. Night Shyamalan, twist at the end. Yeah, people bring up his name as the twist at the end.
Anyway,
of the movie,
he fucked it up, and because of that, I was like scarred as a kid. Like, lots of fans don't even want to talk about that. We don't like they wanted to do. They're doing a live action Avatar: The Last Airbender on Netflix. Was like that was a project that they greenlit. They have more like stuff coming with that. Okay, I want to be excited for it. I do. I really do. And the reason I wanted to was because the original show creators were on it. Then there was some disagreement. And the original show creators left. So now I'm like, I don't know if I want to support this anymore because I don't know if it's going to let me down again. I hate being let down.
Why?
It hurts me.
You're so afraid of pain.
It hurts me. I don't like it. You know? It makes me sad.
It's not fun, man.
It's like, I want to see what I loved redone in a new media. Like, that's exciting. That's one of the reasons like people like to, like Star Wars has done it, and they partnered with all the different anime creators to create some Star Wars themed stories and stuff. What do they call it? Star Wars Spirits or something on the Disney Plus?
I don't know.
Visions. Star Wars Visions. Yeah, that's cool. I like it. I like to see other people's vision of it and whatnot. But I don't know. I want to see when someone says, yeah, we're going to do this with the thing you love. And I'm like, that is my entire childhood. That is like a big emotional part of my life there. And I'm letting you handle it. I mean, you don't even know who the fuck I am, but I'm letting you handle it. Okay.
I can see.
And then they fuck it up. It's like, it hurts.
I can see how it's tough to make those movies. You have to have this balancing act of like trying to stay true to the comics, but not being too predictable, because then everybody knows what happens. And then, you got to change little things up, but don't change too much, because then they'll hate you, and then stay true to this, but don't do this. It's like this balancing act is very tough.
I get it. Yeah. I get it. And I'm not going to hold anybody accountable for it. But that's the reason that I do not get my hopes up.
I don't have as much vested, so I don't care. As long as it's a good movie, I don't care if they didn't stay true to the suit, or, fucking aliens are not involved, or, whatever it is. If it's a good movie, I'm more open to it, because I don't know much about it. But
yeah, I mean, I'm sure. I don't know. I really don't know.
If it was like the Hulk or something, I'd probably be more invested in it. I'd be like, don't fuck this up, man.
What's the Hulk get for you?
I need the freaking Bruce Banner like anger issues, you know, because that's the whole thing with the Hulk, is that his power grows as his anger grows. He becomes stronger and stronger. Right. So in theory, he's supposed to be one of the strongest Marvel characters in the universe, like if not the strongest, because of his potential. You know, as he gets, he'll even grow in size as his anger continues to
bulk up and everything.
Yeah,
bigger muscles.
Well, he gets taller, physically bigger. But yeah, that's why his power is so. That's why he's so strong, because of his anger. But yeah, sometimes they just don't do the whole anger thing. I think I like a lot of people will say
think they lose that perspective of it.
A lot of people say they liked Edward Norton's version, but I liked Eric Bana because.
Like the first one?
The very first one. If you go back and watch that, it's more comic book-ish. They even flip pages, like the cutscenes almost look like a steal of a comic. Like, it's really cool. Like when the helicopter's flying through the canyon, you know, like some of the shots, you feel like
there definitely were some things, but there was definitely maybe not as equal amount as the good things, but there was definitely some weird fucking choices in that movie.
I don't know. I liked it. I've watched
Hulk dogs. You like the Hulk dogs?
The Hulk dogs were awesome, dude.
Dude, that was just so weird.
His dad with the experimental drug that he was taking, and then he fucking turned into some weird like villain that was able to like manipulate things around him. Like, it was like, but the way that Eric Bana got angry, that he was the only one that really like he was staring at himself in the mirror and like getting angry. Like, he could see the anger building in him more than Edward Norton or Mark Ruffalo, I think, at least for me.
Yeah, I definitely would agree on that too. Like, it was. They did focus a lot more on that and how his powers and where they like stem from as far as it.
And the gamma ray, the whole thing when he turned, like they did. I thought they did a good job. The San Francisco scenes I thought were awesome. You know, the city and everything.
There definitely were some more interesting scenes and things. I could see that for sure.
Yeah, I like those scenes. Like, some of those are like my favorite scenes. Like,
I mean, some things were wonky.
When they tried to sedate him, and he just sneezed. He's like, "Achoo!" Like, that was funny. Like, and then like when they tried to like contain him in that container in water, and he just got angry and busted out. That's exactly what the Hulk would do. You know, there was no containing him. You know, so like there was a lot of like, I don't know. I just liked the movie more than, and I liked the Edward Norton one, but it was his villain was even weirder. Remember his fucking, what the fuck was his name? It was in Apocalypse. It was Abomination. Yeah. Yeah, he was weird.
Well, like, see, the thing is that the way that they animated the Abomination,
I didn't
was
like
fucking weird. Have you seen She-Hulk?
Yeah.
So that's the same character. That's the same Abomination as in She-Hulk. But compare those two fuckers together. They do not look the fucking same.
It was weird.
The She-Hulk one looks more to the comics. The one that they did here was definitely odd.
It was weird.
Definitely odd. I think that has to do with just because Edward Norton had a lot of say in the project and stuff.
Yeah, but they kind of commercialized it, and he was running down the street, and it was very like, we're going to sell you toys, you know, like, I don't know. It was just kind of funky. But, yeah, and then we got Mark Ruffalo's, and he was angry, you know, he was pretty, the Hulk was kind of witty. Like, I think I don't know what happened with him.
At that point, we're supposed to, because they never really wanted to redo anything. They just kind of wanted to recap it, and they wanted to bring you to where he is now. So all of three of these Hulks in the Marvel universe things are essentially the same, with the exception of the first one.
Yeah, they never redid it.
They wanted to keep him and his story, but they didn't want to redo his, like, keep his story. Other stuff canon.
They didn't reboot
like,
it.
Hulk dogs were not canon.
All they did was recast Hulk every time.
Yes, pretty much.
Yeah.
And that had to do a lot with the rights to Universal. That's why If you look at that Hulk movie is not on Disney Plus, I don't believe, because it's a Universal movie. It was made through Universal.
I want to say that I thought I heard them recently say they bought the rights to Hulk back.
Did they?
Yeah.
I don't remember. They could have. I know they tried to buy a lot more of their stuff back, but yeah, originally all of that stuff was Universal.
Yeah, this
and for
was
the
just
longest
recently.
time, they could not make any standalone Hulk projects.
Yeah, that shut down.
The only reason they were allowed to use Hulk in the Avengers is because he is an Avenger. So there's an overlap.
Yeah, and they got away with that
But he could
loophole.
not make his own individual
standalone
movie.
Yeah.
And so that's why they never went back and made more Hulk movies with Mark Ruffalo.
Did you ever, this is a whole different thing, but did you ever watch the Hellboy with David?
No, I haven't.
David
the newest
Harbour?
one? No, I haven't done it yet.
It wasn't.
I need to put it on my list.
It was. I want them to do it over too. That one. They could have done better. It was kind of funky in some places.
And the first one had such a hit following.
The very first one, yeah. Just came out of the gates. And then it started getting a little weird. Like the second one, it was like, but it was still good. Yeah. And then when they did the David Harbour one, the giants were cool. There was a whole fight where he has to fight giants.
Yeah, you were telling me about this before. I think we talked about it here. And I got to put it on my list because I do want to see it.
Well, the reason I bring it up is because they said they're going to redo it. Or at least they're going to do another one. I don't know if
with a whole different actor again?
No, I think they're going to keep David Harbour.
Okay.
But,
so they're going to reboot himself.
I think they're kind of do it like a soft reboot. Like and fix the stuff they messed up on.
They've done that before. They did that with we can go back to Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2, they took a lot of criticism on the suit in the first one.
Yeah.
So his Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit is different, dramatically so.
Isn't it crazy though how they can just keep doing that with Spider-Man and you don't care at all? Like you're like, yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, because fucking Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's so weird, right?
Yeah, no, I mean definitely. There's
and Batman. How many times have they done it with Batman?
And it doesn't matter because we'll keep doing it. We're gonna keep looking at him.
They've done
and
it the
Superman.
most. But nobody can touch how many Batmans there's been.
My God, can we think about them all? I think there have been more Supermans than there have been Batmans.
You sure about that?
Yeah, I think so.
No, even if you go back to the TV show, because they have one movie. You want to
include the TV show?
Well, they had one movie.
There are very few Batmans in TV shows.
Well, there's only one, right? How many Batmans were in the... I'm not talking about cartoon.
No, live action, yeah. We've had Batmans in TV shows. Very few of them, but they've been there. We've had
what's
the Fox
the very
show.
First one?
The first one I can think of is obviously Adam West.
Adam West, that's what I was trying to think of.
Adam West Batman can't be Batman.
They did a movie though, Adam West, didn't they?
They did a couple of different things with him.
I want to say they did. So he is one of the Batman movies.
I don't know if it was like feature length like that, but they did like probably a made for TV movie, or they've done animated stuff and where they've recently they've animated episodes.
He was in
or
Family
movies.
Guy, remember?
Oh yeah.
He was the voice in.
He was the mayor.
Yeah.
So we've had that Batman. We've had the Michael Keaton Batman.
Okay.
So where are we? 2.
Okay. Go ahead.
We had what's his name? You're going to have to help me name some. Man.
Oh, I thought you were going to... How far can you go? How many can you name?
I'm trying.
Okay, go ahead.
So...
You got Adam West. You got that one for sure.
Michael Keaton.
Okay.
I want to say...
Vivica A. Fox.
Val Kilmer.
Okay, you got that.
Then we have George Clooney.
Okay, you got him.
Okay, we're going through the 80s, 90s here. Yeah. Then we have Christian Bale. We've got Ben Affleck. We have... Who's next on that list?
The most recent one.
Pattinson. I just can't make his name. Robert Pattinson.
I think that's it.
And then we talk TV shows.
No, just movies though.
You want to just do movies?
Yeah.
Okay. So then we have
7 different Batmans.
8? I have 8 in my hand.
Okay, name yours. Again.
Adam West.
Yeah.
Val Kilmer. George Clooney, Christian Bale, Ben Affleck, Robert Pattinson. That was 6, right? Who am I missing?
Oh, Michael Keaton. You didn't say Michael Keaton.
Did I not start with Michael Keaton?
No, you skipped them for some reason.
Michael Keaton.
That's it.
That's not it. Is it?
Yeah. That's all the ones you said.
What am I missing?
I think that's it. I think there's
Maybe I put my finger up to talk about the TV show ones.
and then you just kept it up. Yeah, because I only had 7.
Because there's Batmans in the TV shows.
Yeah.
But
how many Supermans?
If we do the Batmans and the other TV shows, there's only 2 other ones. So we would be at 9.
Well, let's just say 7
so
for
7
movies.
And 9.
So what about
Because I think it's only the 2.
Superman movies.
Holy shit. That goes back pretty far, I think.
Does it? Did it have black and white Superman?
Yeah. But I think that was a TV show as well.
Not a movie. So what was the first movie then? With Christopher Reeves?
I think the Christopher Reeves.
Okay.
Then we had the Superman Returns one, right?
That was, Superman Returns. I don't remember his name. He had a small part in that one movie. Zach and...
I'm just going to look it up, too.
You're not just going to look it up. I can't stand it. Superman Returns.
There we go.
Marlon Brando played Superman? Huh. I wouldn't have guessed that.
Okay. So.
Kirk.
Yep. So we have
1948. Huh.
This is going to include shows and movies made for TV and stuff. So Kirk Allen, Superman 1948, and Adam Man versus Superman 1950. George Reeves, this is the one I was mentioning earlier from the black and white early days Superman show. Adventures of Superman.
52 to 58.
If you're ever interested, Ben Affleck actually played George Reeves in a biopic about his Superman.
Oh.
Which was really good. I'll have to figure out what that movie was called. George Reeves, then Christopher Reeve.
No relation?
No.
It wasn't like his dad or anything?
No.
Which would have
They
been
have different surnames. One's Reeves, one's Reeve.
Reeve. Okay, yeah. I see that now.
So that's Superman the movie, 2, 3, and 4. John Haymes Newton. He played Superman in Superboy. Jared Christopher played a Superman in a different Superboy. Dean Cain in Lois and Clark in the New Adventures of Superman.
Yeah.
Tom Welling in Smallville.
Oh, a TV show.
Brandon Roth. That was the one who played Superman Returns.
Brandon Roth, yes. And then Henry Cavill.
And
the newest one.
Tyler Hoechlin, he plays Superman in the Supergirl series and the spin-off series Superman and Lois the Adventures. Nicolas Cage played Superman in the Flash, which was making his Superman, the Tim Burton Superman that got canceled. More canon. And then we have David Corenswet.
That's the new one that hasn't come out.
The newest one that has not come out yet. So 11 different actors.
Yeah.
Total.
Yeah. We have to bring up the Batman.
We have to do the Batman now.
Yeah, because if we're going to include TV shows, then... The Batman in live action. Lewis Wilson, 1943. Wow. That's amazing.
I jiggled your camera a bit.
But
it still looks good. All right. Sorry. Yeah, Yeah, there's not like an easy way for me to scroll through all this easily. This list is not as compact as the Superman was. We should get like a tablet out here or something. Oh wait, did you have a fucking laptop you always bring?
Yeah, I forgot to bring it this time.
All right, so we have Lewis Wilson, the Batman. This was he's the first and youngest actor, age 23. Played Batman live action in a movie, The Batman, from the 40s. Robert Lowry.
49.
Mm-hmm.
Nice picture. Batman looks gnarly too.
Adam West. So that's 3. Michael Keaton, 4. Val Kilmer, 5. George Clooney, 6. Christian Bale, 7. Ben Affleck, 8. Robert Pattinson, 9. That's it?
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
So no TV shows then. Huh.
No, those were TV shows too.
Which ones? Oh, in the beginning?
Yeah. Like Adam West's TV show Batman. That's what he's known for. But the reason why is because the rights for Batman TV shows, they just won't do it.
Yeah, there hasn't been any TV shows. Yeah. There's been so many freaking Superman. You name like 3 Superboy movies or shows or whatever the heck that was. I would like to remove those. I'm just kidding.
So
definitely more Supermans than I thought. And Batman seems to be older than I thought too. I didn't know it was in the 40s. Huh.
Oh yeah, I think those Batman comics came out in the 20s, right?
It's pretty close. If you really think about it, because Nick Cage, not his own movie, really just an appearance in another movie. But we'll count it. And then you can't really count the last one because it hasn't even came out yet.
Okay.
So if you take 2 off.
I mean, he's played Superman live action. They made that canon. So they've brought him in. He did the role. He put on a suit and he got to do it. And he even got to fight the fucking spider monster. You ever hear about this?
A spider what?
The spider robot, bro.
From Wild Wild West?
Yes. No, for real. Like, have we talked about this before?
The steam power?
When they were making the Tim Burton Spider-Man, Batman films. I mean, Superman film. The guy who wanted it, like the producer, whoever was in charge of the fucking studio project at the time, he had hired...
Yeah, you told me.
Kevin Smith to write it, and he wanted specifically a fucking a giant spider robot or giant spider that Superman had to fight. And then that whole project had a bunch of issues. There's a very good documentary series on it.
On just this freaking spider?
On just this Superman movie. And it goes through everything.
Nicolas Cage?
Yeah, because they have like test shots and stuff.
I've seen the test shots of Nicolas Cage. There's interviews with all
these people. And they even talked to Tim Burton about it too.
Yeah, I've seen the clips of him talking.
It's great. Should definitely watch it. But they canned that whole project. They put all their money into the next big project that they were working on at the same time when the studio was dealing with budget cuts and shit. They threw all their money for that summer's blockbuster out of Superman and they put it into Wild Wild West. And
it flopped.
Wild Wild West did great.
Well,
for what it was at the time.
It was okay.
Yeah. It was well received.
I guess it wasn't
a good movie.
Yeah, it wasn't I shouldn't call it a flop, but it wasn't that entertaining. It did good at the box office. I think it had good sales, but it wasn't a great movie.
They had put a giant robotic spider monster in there.
It definitely wasn't as good as the movie that Will Smith churned down to do Wild Wild West. You know this, right?
Which one?
He churned down The Matrix.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, to do Wild Wild West. That was the movie he did because instead of picking... but in all fairness, the pitch was crazy. Like they talked to Will about it, and he was like, yeah, these two dudes come in, they're talking about this future movie and like, you know, like fight scenes, and like he's like, you know, like sometimes you don't get the vision, you know. It sounds crazy if you had to like speak out loud and explain the movie. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. It's a crazy idea. Like it's supposed to be the simulation, and you know, there's robots in the future, and you know, it just sounds nutty. So I mean, I can't like fault him that much for turning it down, because you never know what it's
a lot of times that happens is like, and that's probably good, because the movie may not have been. We don't know.
Well, you can't see it any other way now,
right?
So it's hard to ever picture Will as because
we didn't think that was like, if he did do that movie. Let's live in a different universe where he did that movie. You know. Would it have been the same impact as with Keanu Reeves? We don't know.
If it's still done in the same tone and the same kind of pace.
I don't think you can interchange those actors and expect the same role from them.
It's a different movie, but it's still a blockbuster hit. Because, I mean, he was already
definitely still a blockbuster hit, because the story is there, and you're right.
Yeah, and he was already doing them. He had Bad Boys, he had Men in Black, you know.
Agreed. I'm not saying he wouldn't have been able to carry this movie. Yeah. But my point is like the character would be different. The Neo we get with Will Smith is a different Neo. And the same goes for like, look at Back to the Future. Back to the Future was not originally cast with Michael J. Fox.
Can you imagine that scene where Morpheus is telling the Neo to jump, and then it's Will Smith instead? He's like, man, I ain't jumping off this building. You know, like,
yeah,
you know, like it would have been different. It would have been Will Smith. It would have been
different.
For sure. He's funny though.
And that would have changed the tone. And I'm not saying it would have been worse or better or anything. I don't know. We never will know. We won't know. But it's so interesting that there's a whole other universe where this movie did exist in that capacity, and it probably did exactly the same or better, or you know, in that same realm of popularity and height, but different. And that's so crazy. But again, it takes it back to that point, like if we can't expect it to be the same. Like if we walked to that different universe and we saw Back to the Future, but it wasn't Back to the Future, it was because did not have Michael J. Fox in it. It had the other guy, I can't even remember what his fucking name is, something Styles, or I don't even know. But they filmed like, you know that. They filmed like scenes with that guy.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. They originally had a different actor.
Yeah.
What was his name? I know who you're talking about.
Took a huge like bet on this. Like
it wasn't going the way they liked,
because the studio didn't want Michael J. Fox, so they hired someone else. And then Michael J. Fox came available, and they're like, "Oh, look, this isn't working out. I don't want to make this movie with this guy. It's not my vision. He's not doing it the way I imagine it." Yeah. And in the movie might have still became like a huge success. And there's a whole other version of this movie out there where it's this guy instead of Michael J. Fox. But to us, it's not going to feel right? Like you wouldn't be able to watch that whole movie and be like, this is not my Back to the Future.
Yeah.
You know?
I kind of like when they redo movies. I think that we kind of like it too, because we allow them to keep doing this with Batman movies, with Spider-Man movies, and we're like, all right, let's check out this guy's vision. What does he have for us? What haven't we seen? You know, and I think we do like that. I think that's why the Zack Snyder cut did so well too, because we're like, all right, let's check it out. This is a different version. And I think that's just to bring it back to the David Ayers. I think that's why they're committing to David's, because I think that he has been working on it, and I think he showed them some of what he's done, and they're like, yeah, this is going to be better. And so I think that's why they're committed to it. And I think it's good.
I'm all down for getting different versions of movies out there.
I like when they do that.
For me, it's not, you know, I mean, when the studio looks at it, they're thinking about like budgeting and money and profits and this and that and whatnot. But like, look at plays and shows, you know, they change a Broadway cast and they have a different type of cast touring a different type of show.
They do that. Yeah.
And you get a different sense from it. Sometimes it's better, actor. Sometimes it's worse, but it still carries the same tone of what that show is. It just has a different person portraying it.
Yeah, and these kids that do classic plays, they're putting their imprint on a classic story. And it can be told.
And it's their version of it. And we allow that because people are going to go pay and see it live and whatnot, you know, and that's cool.
And even though we know the story, we're still excited to see it.
Exactly. I'm not against it. Yeah. But I feel like if...
They do it too much, though. I'll say that.
I would think, like, for the movies, it's got a different feel when we're talking about redoing the whole movie and reimagining it, as opposed to let's take the same movie and let's
just do it over again,
redo it with different people, and a different director. But we're not changing the script, because then we get a different feel for it. That would be interesting if more stuff like that happened. But of course, that's not, because just the way that the film industry has to work so different.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's weird. Kind of lost my point, too.
Yeah, I don't know where you... I think that's good. What are we at, man?
Oh, we're far, man.
Okay.
We're an hour 51.
We're good. Yeah, we did it, man.
Yeah.
You can feel it. You can feel when it's there. It's done.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. Woo! Yeah!
Give it up.
All right. So this has been Digital Cortex. Thank you for going on this rampage journey with us. Like, I don't even fucking know. But my name's Steven. That's RandomStylez. And I hope you had a good time.
Later.